You've probably met someone like this before. A man walks into the room. He isn't loud, he doesn't draw attention to himself, yet every head turns toward him. He doesn't need to prove anything. People simply sense something about him. He scans the room with calm, measured eyes, moving as if even the air makes space for him. On paper, he might be a nobody, but in that moment he is anything but invisible. His presence speaks louder than any title, and you find yourself asking, how does he do it? Why do people treat him as though he matters before he has even said a word? Here's the uncomfortable truth. He may not be smarter than you. He may not be more talented, more accomplished, or more deserving. What he does differently is simple. He carries himself as if no one is above him, and the world accepts that frame. You were taught to wait your turn, to stay modest, to let your work speak for itself. But the world is not patiently waiting to discover your hidden story. It is reading your posture. It is listening to the weight of your voice. It is noticing the way you walk into a room, the way you hold a chair, the way your eyes meet or avoid another's gaze. Long before you speak, your presence has already announced who you are. And if your presence whispers uncertainty, people will treat you as if you don't belong, no matter how much brilliance lives inside you. That is why the old advice to act like you're the best is not just motivational fluff. It is survival strategy. You don't wait to feel powerful before carrying yourself with authority. You project authority first, and that performance creates the opening for real power. It may feel like theater, but theater is not a lie. It is deliberate performance. When an actor steps onto the stage, he is not pretending in a shallow sense. He shows up fully, serious about his role, and invites the audience to believe in it. That is exactly what you must do. Because in the theater of life, those who hesitate to perform will remain in the background, no matter how much hidden talent they hold. You might think the world rewards skill. It doesn't. The world rewards certainty. The man who walks with confidence will be heard, even when he is wrong. The man who hesitates, even when he is right, is often ignored. People are drawn to energy. They are pulled toward clarity. They follow the one who appears to know exactly what he is doing. Confidence is not the trophy you get after victory. It is the armor you put on before stepping into battle. It is not the outcome of success. It is the condition that makes success possible. Think about the chances you let slip because you didn't feel ready. Think about the conversations where you wanted to speak, but doubted your right to be heard. Think about the times you worked harder than anyone else, yet someone more assertive took the spotlight while you waited for permission. The world does not hand out passes of approval. It rewards those who act as if they already belong at the table of power. That is why some of the most successful people are not the most talented. They are the most convincing. They move as if the ground itself owes them something. They speak as if their words carry authority. They carry themselves as if the crown already rests on their head, even when it is invisible. And eventually, the world begins to see the crown too. It isn't magic, it is repetition. It is the discipline of showing up every single day as the man you intend to become until the image is carved so deeply into people's minds that they stop questioning and simply accept it. You might say, "But I don't feel that confident yet." That doesn't matter. You don't need to feel it right away. You need to act as if you do. Not to deceive others, but to retrain yourself. You aren't faking. You are becoming. You are shaping your presence like a sculptor working a block of stone. Each move refines it. Each gesture polishes it. Over time, the form emerges into reality. Every detail matters. The way you enter a room, the grip of your handshake, the attention you give when listening, the rhythm of your speech, all of it sends a signal. And that signal is never neutral. It either pulls people closer or pushes them away. It either tells the world, "I matter," or "You can ignore me." People rarely dig deep. They react to what is right in front of them, not because they are cruel, but because that is how human nature works. We don't have time to analyze every soul, so we rely on signals, body language, tone, eye contact, rhythm, posture. confidence. This is not arrogance. It is assumption. If you assume strength, you begin to walk like it, talk like it, and see the world through its lens. And soon enough, the world reflects that assumption back at you. If you assume invisibility, if you believe you must first prove your worth while others are inherently greater, then your behavior matches that belief. You shrink, you wait, you apologize for taking space. And once again, the world mirrors that posture back to you. You are not just living in this world, you are projecting into it. And the world reacts to what you project, not to your hidden potential, not to the truth you carry, but to the signal you broadcast. That is why you must act as if you are the best. Not to diminish others, but to show yourself and the world that you have finally grasped what no one teaches you. Power is not granted. It is assumed. And the one who dares to assume it will prevail. Have you ever wondered why certain people, with nothing remarkable to offer, still command attention? They step into a meeting, toss out vague ideas, and somehow the room nods along. Meanwhile, someone else, maybe you, has invested hours sharpening solutions and preparing arguments, only to watch your words float away unnoticed. The flaw isn't in your intelligence. It isn't in your preparation. It lies in the signal you transmit the moment you open your mouth, or even before. The world doesn't follow raw ability. It follows certainty. People crave something solid to believe in. When you move and speak as if you are completely sure of yourself, you become the anchor others are searching for, even if your ideas are imperfect. Confidence, then, is not a reward. It is a requirement. If you want to lead, you cannot wait until you feel ready. You will never feel entirely ready. No one does. That is the hidden truth. The difference is that those who rise choose to act as though they are ready, even while fear gnaws at them inside. It is the lie that becomes real. Because each time you carry yourself with control, people begin to believe it. They start to adjust to your rhythm. They react to the image you project, not the facts buried within you. That is why you see ordinary men leading extraordinary teams. Why loud, overly confident voices dominate the space, while quiet genius becomes a footnote. The world mirrors what you display, not what you contain. You may be brilliant, insightful, and strong, but if your behavior whispers hesitation, no one will dig deeper to uncover what you are truly made of. They will take the signal at face value and move on. That is why you must claim the room before the room grants you permission. Walk in as if you belong. Speak as if your place is already earned. Hold yourself as if there is nothing left to prove. The instant you start proving, you are signaling doubt. Even hesitation becomes a message. A delayed response, a nervous smile, a slouched posture. These are leaks of energy, subtle but powerful, telling the room, I am not sure of myself, and people sense it immediately. Because human nature is wired to follow strength, or what looks like strength. The moment you waver, others reposition you. They place you a step lower. They treat your words with caution. They test your boundaries more freely. They question your perspective more often, not out of cruelty, but because this is how the brain interprets signals. We trust what we feel. We follow what we sense. And confidence, whether authentic or performed, is one of the strongest signals of all. It creates gravity. It pulls others closer. This is why you cannot wait to be celebrated before carrying yourself like a victor. You cannot wait for recognition before standing tall. You cannot wait for permission before speaking. You must take it. Every hesitation is an invitation for someone else to steal your moment. This is not about being loud. It is about being certain. Even your silence can radiate power when chosen deliberately. Sit in a room without many words, but keep your posture strong, your eyes steady, your presence undeniable, and suddenly people lean in. They wonder what you are thinking. They give you attention. Because silence, combined with confidence, transforms into mystery, and mystery is magnetic. Silence without presence, however, is just invisibility. You must learn the difference. When you step into a space, your first task is not to explain yourself. It is to occupy it fully, with your spine, your stride, your breath, your gaze, your energy. Long before your mouth opens, your presence has begun the conversation, and when you finally speak, your words must carry the weight of belief. Not just belief in the idea itself, but belief in you as the one delivering it. Speak as though your words matter, as though they carry consequences, as though ignoring them would be foolish. Because the truth is simple. If you speak without conviction, your audience will not believe. And if you do not appear convinced of your own strength, no one else will be. People want to follow the one who looks like he knows where he is going. They want to stand behind the man who carries himself as if chosen. They want to crown the one who already acts like he wears the crown. So act, not because you are arrogant, not because you are pretending, but because you understand the game and you are tired of standing on the sidelines. You do not owe the world your modesty. You owe it your presence. And if you do not claim your space, someone else will. More often than not, that person will be less deserving than you. You might still wonder, but what if I'm just pretending? What if I act confident and someone sees through me? Here is the twist. Everyone is pretending. Even the powerful figures you admire once stood where you are, uncertain, anxious, inventing themselves step by step. The difference is that they refused to show their uncertainty. They acted with conviction before there was proof. They knew a secret most never learn. Belief shapes reality, not the other way around. Think of confidence as a form of self-hypnosis. At first it feels awkward. You stand taller even though your legs are shaking. You speak up even though your voice wants to tremble. You hold someone's gaze even though instinct tells you to look away. But the more you repeat it, the more your body learns, your voice adapts, and your energy rises to match your behavior. This is not deception. It is transformation. You are not lying to the world. You are teaching it how to treat you. And at the same time, you are teaching yourself who you are becoming. Every time you carry yourself with the worth of a man who matters, you begin to believe it. And once you believe, others will follow. This is how reputation is built. Not on truth alone, but on consistency. The world does not reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent signal. If you project the same image day after day, people eventually accept it. They stop questioning. They start repeating it. Soon enough, your legend becomes your identity. You have seen this play out in real life. A man enters a room with quiet certainty. He does not boast. He does not even need many words. Yet people step aside for him. They respect him. Why? Because he assumes power. And that assumption spreads like a scent in the air. Others sense it before they understand it. Now imagine the opposite. A man walks in unsure of his place. He laughs too often. His body shrinks inward. He tries to blend in, to take up as little space as possible. And how does the room respond? It forgets him. It overlooks him. Not because he lacks worth, but because without speaking he told the room, "You don't need to respect me." This is the silent disease of self-erasure, and it is always a choice. You can choose to shrink back, to step aside, to wait for someone else to declare that you are good enough. Or you can choose to stand tall as if you already are. You do not need permission to act with strength. You act with strength, and permission follows. The world treats you exactly as you treat yourself. So when you enter a room, stop playing small. Do not glance around hoping someone notices your greatness. Walk as if it is already understood. Speak as if your words matter. Move as if the room belongs to you, not because you seek to dominate others, but because you refuse to vanish. People respect certainty, not perfection, not humility, not even skill, but certainty. You can be wrong and still lead. You can be inexperienced and still be trusted. As long as you carry unwavering belief in who you are becoming, people will follow. That is why confidence is not about volume. It is not shouting or forcing your presence. It is presence itself. It is the quiet power in your posture, the calm weight in your voice, the stillness in your gaze. It is moving slowly, with intention, because you have no need to rush for recognition. It is wielding silence as a weapon. It is never begging to be believed, because you have already decided who you are. Others pick up on that decision instantly. People want to follow someone who feels reliable, someone who carries belief like a flame and lights the way for others. And when they sense that fire in you, they begin to organize around it. Not because you coerce them, but because they have been waiting for someone like you to appear. So do not wait. Stop asking yourself if you are ready. Readiness is a myth. No one feels ready. The strongest people you know were only bold enough to act before certainty arrived. They jumped and learned how to land on the way down. That is your task now. Not to perfect your image, but to choose it. Not to wait for proof, but to assume the role. Not to apologize for who you are, but to project it with quiet force. Because if you do not, others will define you instead. And they will write a version of your story that fits their narrative, not yours. That is the danger of silence. That is the cost of hesitation. You've heard the phrase, fake it till you make it. But that's not quite true. You are not faking anything. You are becoming. You are practicing power the way a musician practices his instrument. Not pretending to know, but committing to repetition until the movements, the tone, the posture, the energy are no longer performance. They are simply who you are. And when you reach that point, when you've worn the crown long enough that it no longer feels heavy, people stop questioning. They stop testing. They begin to assume what you assumed long ago, that you are the leader, the one who matters, the one who belongs at the top. The paradox is cruel, but it is real. Power does not go to the most skilled. It goes to the one who believes he is the best, who acts as if he is the best, who radiates without apology that no one outranks him, not out of hatred for others, but because he has finally stopped doubting himself. You are not in a contest to see who is the kindest, the smartest, or the hardest working. You are in a game of perception, and perception bends reality. If you project invisibility, you will be invisible. If you speak with uncertainty, you will be challenged and dismissed. But if you speak with calm conviction, if you move with deliberate steps, if you look at the world as if nothing can shake you, people feel it, and they respond. You do not need to shout to be powerful. You do not need to dominate to lead. You do not even need to have all the answers. What you need is to end the habit of asking for permission to exist. Stop waiting for someone to recognize your potential. Stop hoping someone will call your name. Stop shrinking your presence to make others comfortable. If your greatness unsettles them, let them be unsettled. That is no longer your problem. Power is not a prize handed down by fair judges. It is a mirror. It reflects whatever you send into it. Send fear, and it gives you rejection. Send confidence, and it returns opportunity. You are not simply passing through life. You are declaring yourself with every step. And each time you enter a room, each time you speak, each time you choose silence or action, you are broadcasting a message. This is who I am. This is how I expect to be treated. So let me ask you, what signal have you been sending? Do you act like a man still waiting to be good enough? Or like one who already knows who he is? Do you walk as someone unsure of his worth? Or as someone whose posture declares that the world owes him attention? Because that answer, more than your talent, your resume, or your intentions, will decide how the world responds to you. If you assume yourself to be a supporting character, the world will never hand you the lead role. If you act as though your voice carries no weight, people will stop listening. But if you assume yourself essential, if you move as if your presence has value, others will adjust to that energy. They will believe what you believe. Because confidence, repeated with discipline, becomes reality. You cannot control every circumstance. You cannot always control the outcome. But you can control how you show up. And when you show up with certainty, people feel it. When you enter a room and your presence speaks before your mouth does, something shifts. That shift is the line between forgettable and unforgettable, between sheep and wolf, between the one who waits and the one who decides. Here is the truth that ends every debate. Strength does not appear by accident. It is forged by assuming power, again and again, until no one can see you any other way. The man who walks with the belief that he is the best does not wait for permission. He does not wait for recognition. He does not wait for the perfect timing. He moves as if the game already belongs to him. And the world bends, not because he asked, but because he trained it to. Now it is your turn. No more shrinking, no more explaining, no more hoping. From this moment forward, walk as if no one is greater than you. Not because you have something to prove, but because no one will believe it until you do. Power is not handed out, it is assumed. And the one who assumes it first is the one who dominates. So tell me, when this ends, who will you be? The man who waits, hesitates, and apologizes, or the man who decides, moves, and claims the space that was his all along?